Welcome to the Claret and Blue podcast. We recorded our Q&A on Monday, and there were two questions, John, that I wanted to get into on its whole entire episode, because I felt like the conversation would get lost inside that. We did an hour-long live stream. This could be 20 minutes of discussion on its own, so I wanted to pull it away from everything else and do it separately.
Yep.
The two questions I'll read specifically in a second are basically about, are we in a title charge, or is it just about consolidating our place in the Champions League positions?
Yep.
Post-match show, Arsenal and Man United just kicked off, and obviously that game panned out to be that Man United won 3-2 in dramatic fashion at the end. And during that conversation, we spoke about what result we'd prefer. Now, I think the easier cop-out answer in those discussions is usually a draw. Neither team gains any ground, really. You know that Arsenal lost. So I can only ask you this question and hope you tell the truth. What do you want beforehand? What result would you have been after?
Honestly, an Arsenal win.
Why? Because you're looking behind.
That sounds really negative, but in simple terms, yeah, I am, yeah.
Let me ask you the question then. So from Nathan. Question for John, but I'm here as well, and I'm also going to answer it. Don't forget me, Nathan. Nathan says, yesterday, you guys mentioned that they didn't want United to beat Arsenal. So Nathan already knows my answer. Fair enough. Okay. My perspective is totally different. I genuinely believe we can win the league, and the gap between us and sixth place is too large. We need to concentrate on catching Arsenal. So you wanted Arsenal to win. So you disagree with that?
Not exactly. I'm not concentrated on Arsenal whatsoever, because I know that if we keep winning, well, we can concentrate on them in April if we need to. I'm nowhere near talking about title races. I'm just not. We lost to Everton last weekend.
It's a bit of a paradox, isn't it? Because if you want to keep building a gap to the teams behind you, therefore you're probably still winning, which means you're probably still within touching distance of being in a title race as well.
Yeah, basically. At the moment, I view us at the top of our table, if that makes sense. Because I'm not focused on what's above us. I'm only viewing on what's beneath us, because I know that I personally think we're setting us up to be disappointed if that's what we're aiming for. Europa League knockouts, when they come, that's a whole different kettle of fish for our squad as well. The pressure for us to win, pressure's going to come from me, by the way. Like, we have to win that trophy. We have to win it. Now is the time to prove that we're capable, and we are. Do it. And that's going to be in the middle of those difficult games when other teams will either have nothing to play for, or maybe do have something to play for. Maybe they're a rival to us, or they're trying to stay in the division. It's going to be such a difficult end to the season. We don't have our best midfielder. We don't have our captain for 6 weeks.
Plus, Yuri Tielemans. Editor's note, we recorded this Monday where we knew Tielemans was injured. We just didn't know the severity of it. So bear that in mind throughout this episode.
But because we've won at Newcastle for the first time in 21 years, which is a fantastic result, we now think that, okay, we can win the league now. But last week we lost to Everton. We didn't beat a Crystal Palace side who I think are probably looking over the shoulders now and wondering, well, if this team wins again. I just think it's so, firstly, early to talk about it. But second, let's just sort of, I don't know. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah,
be honest. Like, you don't have to agree with what I'm saying. You can say, I think we're going to win the league. It's fine.
No, I was about to say, I don't think we can win the league.
Oh, great.
I just don't. We just don't have the quality and the depth to do it at the moment.
Yeah.
Now, if Villa were to do what they did last January and pull out a deadline day that allows them to kind of bridge the gap there.
Yeah.
Also are wobbling a bit now, but I don't think that wobble will continue enough for them to fall away completely.
I'm shocked that they're only 4 points ahead of us. I would say that.
But we're in a position now that I didn't foresee coming. I thought they'd be, 10 points ahead of second, never mind third. And 4 points doesn't sound like a lot. If Arsenal lose next week and we beat Brentford, it's 1 point. If we'd have beaten Everton last week, it'd be 1 point now. And again, that changes to the landscape a little bit. If at any point we actually go top, again, maybe that's different. But I still think we are finding a way to churn out wins. But we are now like at the edge of what I think we are capable of doing with the squad we have left.
Yeah.
Like maintaining third with the injury we have will be tough enough. To go one step further and win enough games to overtake City and Arsenal and actually go and win the league come the end of May, I just think it's a step beyond us at the moment. And that isn't me saying that we're crap and we're not good enough and I don't believe in the club or anything. It isn't that. Just winning the league's bloody hard. We haven't done it for 40 odd years. Not many different teams have ever won the Premier League besides the usual big boys. So I'm not downplaying Villa necessarily. I just think the task is so monumental. It's going to be very hard for us to do that. I'm in the middle of this debate, really. I don't think we're in a title race, but I also am not worried at all about the teams behind us. Me again, yeah, I still think that, even with the injuries. On the video we did yesterday, there were a few suggestions of, yeah, but if Man United win, which they went on to do, they might catch us. Really? Are we still worried about Manchester United in big old 2026? Like, they're better than they were, granted, and they've just beaten City and Arsenal. Fine. All right. The points gap to the teams behind us, firstly, Villa have to fall off by quite a distance, which I don't think will happen. That's kind of point number one. If we were neck and neck with the clubs now, and any win, if we play on the Friday night and they play on the Saturday and we're fifth and then they're fifth and it keeps flopping around, fine. It can go one of two ways at any one match week. Villa need to lose 4 games to be overtaken.
3 to United.
3 to United. Goal difference? Well, if we lost 3 games, it's not big enough.
It's 8 points between us and United at the moment. And then 10 to Liverpool.
We dropped down to 4th if one of those overtook us.
I
mean, if another one overtook us, we dropped down to 5th. It'll be Champions League, right?
Yeah.
So just hold on a second, John.
Yeah.
So our run at the moment is better than 2 points per game still. Our points, is it 22 played and 46?
23 played.
So 40, bang on 2 points a game then. So 2 points a game over the course of the entire season will be 76 points. So we can afford a drop-off of theoretically 6 points worth
2 games.
Of points per game, 2 games, and still get to 70. I'm not massively overcomplicating this by basically saying, I don't think Villa will drop off, but the form the other clubs will have to go on to overtake us is better than the form that we've shown so far this season, if that makes sense. Our form, if you take out the first 5 games, is something like 2.5 points a game from the 5th game onwards to now. Can you see Man United, Chelsea, Newcastle, or whoever else, 2 of those teams? I'm talking about to get us out of the Champions League places, not just to finish 3rd.
So 3 then.
Can you see 3 teams putting together runs of form at the same time that has been better than Villa's so far this season? And whilst those 3 teams are doing that, Villa also have to fall off a cliff.
I can see 3 teams getting close to 70. This is very simple, but it's up to us, is the way I look at it. If that makes sense. I think if we fall out of the Champions League, it's on us. Yeah. As you said that, I don't think those 3 teams will blow teams away in the second half of the season and finish as high as 77 points, and then all of a sudden we're in 6th with 71 or whatever. Like, that won't happen.
Yeah.
But Villa in the position they're in, if we finish 6th, so beneath Liverpool, Chelsea, Man United, again, I think that's sort of, and then there'd be different reasons why, I'm sure, but it's essentially on us. Yeah,
like Forest last year, right? That was Forest's fault.
Yeah. Forest fell away, and I don't think we'll be doing that. But
that's what we need to do for that to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'm quite a pessimistic person, so we kind of different balance here. You're very confident Villa are going to get into the top 5. I'm also very confident. You're probably more than very confident. You said before you guarantee.
I said 100% deny a few weeks ago, and I'll stand by that.
Yeah. I'm very confident. You kind of split this video into 2 parts. Firstly, I'm with you, Dan. The title race isn't quite on my radar. I'm not saying we're not going to win the league. As you said earlier this season, we don't know what's going to happen. This is football, but we will be in a title race if in April we're in the same position. That's what I would say.
Yeah.
So the kind of point I'm trying to make is I'm only focused on, in February, getting as many points as we possibly can to keep ourselves away from those 3 clubs beneath us. That's all it is. And by the way, City are also, with us, and I think they'll be okay as well. So maybe you can drag them into the another team, finishing above this amount. That's where I'm at. Win as many games as you possibly can in the next few weeks to move yourself hopefully further away from, or keep the same gap to the teams below you. That's all I'm bothered about. And then if at the start of March or into March, it is still 4 points to Arsenal, then you're in a title race. And then for me, the conversation is, can we win the league? Then I would be having the conversation. Well, McGinn comes back, and at this point, we have this player. Arsenal have 2. That's when I'd talk about us and Arsenal being a bit of a rival. At the moment, I'm not going to talk to you about Arsenal or this, Arsenal or that. Maybe they'd fall over here, mate. Here's their fixtures. It's far too early for me to be doing that because we have no experience of competing for a Premier League title. None at all under Unai Emery. It is just a focus for me on pulling away from the teams beneath us, because the Champions League would be a sensational league season. Winning the Europa League would also cap that, of course. I mean, that for me would be the main thing. Then it would be where you finish in the league. But that's where I'm at. It's too early for me to talk about it, and I'd be lying to anyone if we came on air and said like, "Oh, you play this role and I'll play that role." Do you know? So
yeah, that's not why we've done this video separately, by the way, just to argue on purpose. I just thought, because we're doing a long Q&A, I mean, this video already has been 10 minutes, and that's a long time to answer one question.
Yeah.
I'm still not finished.
Can I quickly just go back to what you said about the point gap thing? Mm-hmm. The fact that United are 8 points away, if it was 12, I would be much more, but 8 can change quickly. And I'm not saying it will. Yeah. I'm not saying it will, but what if Kevin Shardo runs through on goal and Ezri Konsa gets a red card against Brentford and we don't win, and Man United do win their game? Oh, now it's what?
5.
Yeah. 5 points is nothing. That can flip like in
if we were chasing somebody with 5 points, I'd also be confident we could catch them.
Yeah, and that's kind of my, because it's still, there's a lot of football to play. I look at, well, what can happen? How quickly can that gap not fall away, but how quickly can that become a problem? Ooh, you know? Yeah, exactly. At the moment, it's no problem. When we lost to Everton, that's why it wasn't like a disaster. It was like, oh, we've blown a bit of an opportunity there to go second, but hey, we got a 10-point gap or whatever it is. That was how it felt, and that's how it may feel again. But because United have kept pace with us and won 2 big games for them, it's a bit of a squeaky one. But then you also look at what Chelsea and Liverpool are also in the mix. You know, we could finish below United, and I don't think we will, but I think if we do, you'd still be in the top 5.
I agree with that, and that's all I'm really bothered about, to be perfectly honest. Of course, I want to win the league. I want to finish 2nd or 3rd. But if we end up finishing 5th by the skin of our teeth,
and against Champions League, Oh no,
that's what I mean. As long as we finish in the Champions League places, I don't really care where we finish, to be honest.
No, I wouldn't care.
We can afford to drop off some form and still finish 5th, is my kind of overarching point, really, is what I'm trying to say here. But there will be a point where it isn't mathematically possible in terms of points yet, but where it becomes mathematically improbable to be caught by enough clubs doing it. So if we're saying we need 7 wins from 15, well, Man United need 10 from 15, which is some run of form. If that comes down to they need 10 from 12 or 10 from 11 or 10 from 10, they're going to win the final 10 games in a row? Obviously not. So it wouldn't therefore be mathematically impossible at that point.
No.
But Man United to win all 10 games, that will never happen, right? Yeah. So that's the point I want to get to as soon as possible.
Of course. But when you say they're done about, they would have to win 10 or 15, that's based on us winning 7 out of 15, which isn't... Yeah, I think we can. But again, it's football. We just don't know.
But I think we'll win more than 7 out of 15 as well.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's why, like, if we need to win 7, they need to win 10. I think we're probably going to win 9. So they need to win 11 out of 15. And 12 out of 15.
And if we know Villa will win 8 games or 9 games, we're in the Champions League. Like, no stress. We're in the Champions. We are top 5. We probably finish 3rd. Like, that would be fine. So really, my point of view is
get ourselves to 8 or 9 wins and forget what the rest are up to.
Well, 7 wins really should, with a draw on the side or a couple of draws, you'd be okay. And that, on paper, everyone was saying, well, yeah, we'll get that. I'll click off this podcast now because that's that. But we have to talk about it but that's not a guarantee at the same time. It's likely because we think we'll finish the top 5 and get that amount of points. But at the same time, I just think the final third of the season, we have been here before and slipped up nearly to the point where we fell out of the Champions League. If it weren't for Tottenham exhibiting some terrible form. And then last season was different. But at the same time, we were the chasing pack, and I think we suit chasing rather than fending off.
So does that maybe the mindset is that we are chasing for the league then?
Yeah. But
in terms of the Champions League race for the league, and then you're for the Champions League.
And if so, then good. I'm not thinking about the league whatsoever until around April. And if we're 10 points behind, then okay, well, it doesn't matter. If it's 5 points, okay, we've got a sniff. But the main thing is that when you look below, but you're 10 points ahead of these guys. That's fine then. Then we can look at the league and be like, oh, who've Arsenal got this weekend? I've no idea who Arsenal play next weekend or the week after the week, but I know Man United play Fulham. Do you know what I mean? I just want no pressure come the final 4 games of the season on the Champions League. And Man United don't have Europe.
They're also fair, yeah. I just don't think Man United are that good. They've been good this week, but anyway.
No, but it balancing it out.
I'm not going to read Villa's fixtures in February because hopefully everyone listening to this will have a rough idea of who we're playing and know that it's on paper, favourable month. Just want to read out the teams behind us. Not all of them, just a couple of key fixtures. So Man United, Chelsea and Liverpool. Again, not looking forward to Arsenal and Man City just yet. In February, Man United host Tottenham. They go away to West Ham. They go away to Everton. Not easy. And they host Fulham, as you said, at the weekend. Chelsea go away to Wolves. They host Leeds. They host Burnley. Winnable games for Chelsea, admittedly. Liverpool host Man City, go away to Sunderland, away to Forest, and host West Ham. some winnable games, but the hardest.
Yeah, 50-50.
The hardest fixtures for any of those 4 clubs, I think, is probably Liverpool in February.
Yeah.
Now, the thing that I want to do to tee up the rest of this segment is look at March very quickly. Villa play Chelsea, obviously big. Villa go to Man United, obviously big. The other games in the month that are worth noting, obviously Villa go to play West Ham as well. Man United have Palace at home. Arsenal play Chelsea. Newcastle, Man United. Chelsea, Newcastle. Liverpool, Spurs. Man United go away to Bournemouth, which is and Everton. Chelsea go away to Everton. We've got a good February that sets us up to play Chelsea and Man United. Hopefully beat them, obviously, in a month where they also have difficult fixtures. So this is why I think this kind of 6-week period is so crucial, because you full focus, obviously FA Cup as well, if you beat Newcastle. This run of fixtures, if they go Villa's way, let's say they win 6 out of 8 and they beat Chelsea, by the international break in March, Premier League is about as good as it gets for us in terms of top 5. You might then be thinking, we are in a title race here because we've won 7 games out of 9 or whatever I just said, and we're right up there. And that's fine, and we can turn our attention to that then. But this 6-week period or so allows us to cement our position in the Champions League places for me before the Europa League knockout start. And I know that's very fairy tale to look at it like that Villa win loads of games before the Europa League comes back. Of course, that's what we all want. Go and make it happen then. We don't want to be hosting Liverpool and then going away to City on the final day. To play for the title, go for it. Why not? I'd love that. But we don't want to be going to those thinking we have to get 4 points out of these next 2 games to guarantee Champions League qualification. Don't let it get that far.
Europa League knockouts are the thing for me, as you basically just explained there, Dan. And for context, they start up again for us. So round 16 is before we play Man United. And then the second leg is after we play Man United. After we play Chelsea, it's at that point, as you say there, that's when you want to look back, even before Chelsea, look back on Wolves, Leeds at home, Brighton at home, and Bournemouth away. You want to look back and say, okay, you've stacked points there, and we're in a really strong position. If we don't, we're going to be kicking ourselves, because we will be. I think we will still be above the teams that we're talking about, United, Chelsea, Liverpool. But if it's 3 points in it, we may as well not have an advantage because we've lost it. It's so minute, the 3-point gap. You need, if a gap, when I talk about gaps, is 6 at least. Probably more.
Imagine it is only 6 points and you play Man United and Chelsea and lose both. There's a chance that 6 points gap is gone.
And again, and 3 points is nothing. That changed literally in the course of 90 minutes. So the gap we have now, we have to keep a hold of, because if we don't, I just worry about how we're going to deal with the rest of the season. Because put ourselves in a position now, right, where we're in Newcastle's realm and we're, maybe a couple of points away from 5th, and we're sitting here doing the same podcast thinking, well, we can get the Champions League, because I'm still thinking like that. We've got a great gap. It counts for nothing for me unless we get these run of results now, if that makes sense. Because we may as well be, after this run of results, we may as well be where Newcastle are now if we don't pick up. So if we don't pick up the results we want from now until Chelsea in the next month, we may as well be where we are, because that is the point of having a gap.
But I wouldn't want to take what you're saying, I presume, out of context, that if the next 6 weeks don't go well, you don't think, that's it, Champions League's done. We can still win the games from March onwards, but it's obviously much more difficult.
We go from confidence to me then thinking, I don't think we're going to do it. Because the the Europa League knockouts are so important, again, without our best midfielder, without a captain for, hopefully, until the knockouts start. But then whatever, Anana we can't rely on in terms of fitness. We know Ollie's had knee pains. Martinez picks and chooses, because of his injuries. I must add. But that's what I'm saying. So nothing is going to help us, I don't think. Expect the worst is what I'm saying in terms of the squad and in terms of helping hands from other people. That's what it is. The next few weeks are really important. Is essentially what we're trying to boil it down to. Next 5 weeks, when we probably don't have John McGinn, that's going to be right now the most important time of the season. It's not looking forward to May and thinking, well, who do Arsenal play in the final game of the season? No idea. And I won't care until mid-April.
I mean, Emery says the next game, and there'll be people who have hopefully listened to the end of this going, lads, forget it. Forget the rest of February. It's about the next game. No, completely.
It is. We're trying to talk about the context. If we talk about Brentford this podcast last 2 minutes, we have to talk about the context of the season. But I just think if you're going to compartmentalise it from now until the knockouts start, that is that's everything for us.
If you think about the points gap that we have at the moment, being 8 to United, and was it 9 to Liverpool or 10?
I think it's 10 to Liverpool and 9 to Chelsea, or 8 to Chelsea.
Okay, let's just say as an average, we got a points gap of 9, so 3 wins basically. If we're predicting Villa to get 10, 11 points from February, those clubs have to win every game in February to get the points gap down before March starts.
Yeah, 6 points isn't a big enough gap for me to feel like I do now, though. It's the sort of the mental side of right now. We have a cushion where we are, even for Villa fans, so confident that we'll be okay. I think anything less than 8 points genuinely does send the jitters at me. Well, next weekend, if we don't win, Man United close in between 2 or 3 points. That's it. And that's like, how can you be confident in that way? Like we are now. It's one thing thinking, well, if we win and United lose, you think that positively, but you have to think about the other side. Anyway, next 6 weeks, yeah, that's kind of what we've boiled it down to. And I think in kind of like every post match that you do, it'll be that sort of conversation as well. Like, we've won, even if the other teams win, it doesn't really matter, because as long as we keep our that's the important thing. It would be a major bonus if we increase our gap from now until March, then yeah, we would be probably very close to Arsenal.
Exactly that. And that will be the aim internally, absolutely. Yeah. There's no resting on the laurels of, it's got a good points gap, so we'll rest a load of players against Brentford. Obviously not. You want to win every single game available, and that's the aim. So yeah, I wanted to have this video or this podcast as a separate away from the Q&A, because I don't know how long I've got the edit down to, but we've been recording for 27 minutes.
But I think it's a good time to sort of take stock, because firstly of the games that we've got coming up, 5 of the next 6 at home in all comps, and chance to build momentum, blah, blah. But also, we are nearly in the final third of the league season now. This is it. Like, this isn't the final. We're not
a million miles away from the running, are we?
Well, this is the elongated running as such. Because we're now looking towards the end of the season, aren't we? We're plotting you can't do that in December.
Okay. All right, John, we'll wrap up there. Thanks for joining me on this one to debate and discuss where we're at. Let us know in the comments what you think. Are you confident about Champions League qualification? Are you worried about Manchester United? Are you worried about Liverpool? Whatever it is, then get in touch. I do read and go through every comment. I'd actually had a bet with somebody in the comments on the post-match that we would, if we finish below Man United, I'd give them 50 quid.
Yeah, I don't think we will either.
50 quid, John?
I haven't got that sort of money to play around with.